everybody, I'm Joey Vaughan, I'm an indie author, and today we're doing a bonus video. It's another writing tag, and I got tagged by Mandy Lynn, and I will link her video in the description below, but it's the story ideas tag. So here we go. This tag was created by BETHANY and BROOKE PASSMORE. I have linked to their videos in the description below, and there are 10 questions about story ideas. So I'm going to work with, because I have 2 work in progress, I'm going to try and do both of them, but we shall see how it goes. So number 1, your current story. What is your current story idea that you're working on right now? One of them is called Translucent, which is the second in the Invisible trilogy. Invisible basically is about a dystopian world where the UK is set up in 2 segments. They're self-governing segments, that there is a central government that's needed occasionally. Zaya lives in Southwest, Jonah lives in Northwest, and they are both hit with an attack and a virus is released that kills 50% of the population, but also leaves all the survivors with some kind of disability. The story is basically discovering their journey onto finding out why they were hit, who they were hit by, and life after the virus and the attacks and all that went with it. It's told from dual point of view, so half the chapters are written by Zaya and half of them are written by Jonah, and you meet in the middle. And the second story I'm working on is Cranberry Chronicles The Fourth Torment, which is the 4th book in the Cranberry Chronicles series. Cranberry Chronicles is a contemporary mystery, sci-fi, fantasy. I haven't really decided yet, but we'll get there in the end. Basically, it's about a girl called Jessie who has ME and fibromyalgia and is in a wheelchair. She has the ability to literally feel other people's pain. She's an empath. And the stories basically follow, or the series basically follows her through discovering what this means, what her life's like, and all the mysteries and stuff that come along with it. Number 2, spark of inspiration. Do your ideas begin with characters, plot, world building, or something else entirely? Mostly they begin with plot. I generally get the idea of what would happen if, and also what happens in this if I create this world where, and stuff like that. Majority of the time they will start with either plot or the world building, and then I'll add the characters in afterwards. Sometimes they'll start with a character, but it's kind of rare for me. Number 3, brainstorm. How do you puzzle piece your story elements together? Do you start with the ending and make your way to the beginning, or vice versa? I start with the beginning and then basically thought dump it all out, and then slot it all together in whichever hodgepodge way works for me, and depending on which book. Because I'm a hybrid, I do a mixture of planning and pantsing, so I do a bit of planning and a bit of piecing together, but sometimes it's a case of just where the mood takes me. Number 4, keep or toss. How do you know when you want to keep or dump a story idea? Generally speaking, I do this very rarely. I have done it in the past, where I have had a story idea, I've started writing it, and then I've realised, nope, it's not going anywhere. And that's when I lose, it's not just when I'm bored with the story, but when I lose my passion for it, then I will dump it. But generally I don't dump it completely, I will just put it away and maybe come back to it later and see whether changing the plot, I can salvage the characters and stuff like that. Number 5, how much of your original idea for your story is actually used once everything is finished? It depends on the story, but generally speaking, quite a lot of it. There are some bits that gets thrown out while I'm drafting, and there are other bits that stay in. I have had parts with writing Cranberry Chronicles where the second book had a completely different plot at the beginning of the book than it did by the end of the book. Same with Invisible, it had a completely different plot at the beginning of the book. It was originally a duology, it's now a trilogy, so you can understand a lot of things changed. Once everything's written down, obviously it changes still, so I'd probably say 50% of the time I end up with some of the original idea, and the rest of the time I don't. Number 6, hide or share. Do you share your book ideas with friends or keep them a secret? I generally do, because I don't have a wide social circle, so I'm passing this as friends that I speak to regularly, and I will generally give my book ideas to my friends once I've started writing them, because I know I'll finish them. It's very rare for me to not finish a book, so I know that I'll finish them, and I know that my friends will be as excited about it as I am, so generally I will share that with them. Number 7, dream. Have any of your book ideas originated with a dream/nightmare? No. I don't always remember my dreams, but when I do, they're usually too surreal and nonsensical for me to turn them into any kind of book plot or anything else like that, so no. Number 8, doppelganger. Have you ever had an idea for a story but then seen a similar premise in a book/TV show/movie? Yes and no, but never to the point where I feel like I can't write that book because of the TV, movie, book, whatever. But generally speaking, a lot of my ideas are able to be twisted around and turned into something a bit more unique, I suppose the word I'm looking for is. Number 9, big screen inspiration. Have any of your favourite movies/TV shows sparked ideas for scenes in your book? No, because I'm not really a big TV or movie person, and that's simply because I don't have time. I just don't have time to watch TV and movies and stuff like that. If I do have time, then when I'm doing it, it's time off, so I'm not thinking about my books, so I don't think so, no. And number 10, what's your oldest first story or idea that you remember coming up with and writing down? I was talking to Emily Bourne about this today because she'd just done this tag. But the one I remember writing down was I was about 8. I was spending the time with my great nan. She really loved cats. So I wrote a story about a town full of cat people, and they had to investigate a murder, which I know is strange, but I was 8 and I was a strange child. And I remember writing it down in a little blue notebook, and she loved it, apart from the murder. I think she was a bit worried about the murder, but yeah. But I think that's the earliest one I can remember writing down. So yeah, so that's the story ideas tag. I'm going to tag Julie from Pages and Pens, Bella Rose Pope, and Erin Kinsella. All their channels will be listed down in the description. And I want to thank Mandy Lynn for tagging me. She didn't actually tag me, she tagged everyone who watched it because she couldn't think of anyone else to tag. So I guess that counts. That's my story ideas answer, and I had a lot of fun filming it, and it was a really good tag, so I'm glad I got to do it. So that's what I've got time for today. If you want to get in touch with me, you can comment or subscribe. I post videos on Thursdays and sometimes on Sundays as well. Or you can find me on Facebook, on Goodreads, on Tumblr, on Twitter. My books are available everywhere, and don't forget to check out Dark 2018, where I will be signing books this October. All the links to which are listed below. Thanks for watching. Bye.